Join me as I dive deep into the life of Attila the Hun and see if I can uncover why he was called the Scourge of God. Attila the Hun is one of the most pivotal figures in history, and for good reason. His campaigns against the Roman Empire played a significant role in shaping the fate of Europe and the Western world as a whole. But who was this mysterious figure, and what drove him to wreak havoc on the ancient world? Trying to understand Attila's true nature is a challenge, to say the least. Myths and legends surround him, making it difficult to separate fact from fiction. The ancient historian Jordanes, for instance, portrayed Attila as a brutal and ruthless warrior, while other accounts depict him as a cunning and intelligent leader. So, which one is the real Attila? Unfortunately, we may never know for certain, as much of what we know about him comes from biased Roman sources. Even so, by sifting through the available evidence, we can piece together a narrative that reveals a complex and fascinating individual. One thing is certain, though. Attila's impact on European history was profound. His campaigns ravaged the Western Roman Empire, forcing its capital to flee from Rome to Ravenna. He was a master of psychological warfare, often using terror and intimidation to achieve his goals. And yet, despite his brutality, he was also a skilled diplomat, able to forge alliances with various Germanic tribes and even marry the sister of the Western Roman Emperor. As we delve deeper into Attila's life, we'll explore the many contradictions that make him so fascinating. He was a barbarian who admired Roman culture, a ruthless warrior who valued loyalty and honor, and a leader who inspired both fear and admiration. By examining the complexities of his personality and reign, we can gain a deeper understanding of the world he lived in and the legacy he left behind. Attila's rise to power was nothing short of meteoric. Following the death of his uncle Rugila, he became the leader of the Hunnic Empire, and within a few short years, he had conquered vast swaths of Eastern Europe and the Balkans. His military strategies were unconventional, to say the least. He preferred to attack suddenly and without warning, exploiting the element of surprise to devastating effect. And yet, despite his reliance on terror and intimidation, he was also a master of siege warfare, able to breach even the strongest fortifications. The secret to Attila's success lay in his ability to adapt to different circumstances. He was as comfortable leading lightning-fast cavalry charges as he was conducting drawn-out sieges. He was a chameleon-like leader, able to change his tactics to suit the situation. And his armies were incredibly diverse, comprising not only Huns but also Goths, Scythians, and other Germanic tribes. This diverse force allowed him to tap into the military traditions of various cultures, making him an almost unbeatable foe. Attila's conquests had a profound impact on Europe, forcing the Western Roman Empire to rethink its defensive strategies. The Emperor Valentinian III, for instance, was forced to abandon Rome and establish a new capital in Ravenna, marking the beginning of the end of the Western Roman Empire. Meanwhile, the Eastern Roman Empire, also known as the Byzantine Empire, emerged as a major power, thanks in part to Attila's campaigns against the Persians. One battle that marked a turning point in Attila's reign was the Battle of Chalons, fought in 451 CE. This epic clash pitted Attila's Hunnic Empire against a coalition of Romans and Visigoths, led by the Roman general Flavius Aetius. Attila's tactical brilliance was on full display as he exploited the weaknesses of his opponents, using his cavalry to devastating effect. Although the battle was ultimately indecisive, it showcased Attila's military genius and cemented his reputation as a master strategist. The most famous event in history is undoubtedly in 452. Attila had crushed his enemies and reached the heart of the Roman Empire. Rome was on its knees, the world held its breath. But then, something extraordinary happened. Pope Leo IV, in a dramatic move, decided to meet Attila face to face. As the story goes, Leo knelt before Attila and pleaded for mercy, even kissing his boots. Can you imagine the tension? The Pope, the spiritual leader of millions, begging for Rome's survival. Against all odds, Attila withdrew his forces, sparing the city. Was it divine intervention or masterful diplomacy? Whichever you believe, this moment marked a stunning victory for the Pope. Attila's legacy is a complex and multifaceted one. To the Romans, he was the Scourge of God, a brutal and merciless warrior who brought terror to their doorstep. To the Huns, he was a hero, a leader who expanded their empire and brought them untold riches. And to historians, he remains an enigma, a figure shrouded in mystery and myth. One thing is certain, though. Attila the Hun left an indelible mark on European history, shaping the fate of empires and cultures for centuries to come. Thanks for joining me on this journey into the life of Attila the Hun. What are your thoughts on this enigmatic figure? Share your comments below and be sure to check out my next video on another fascinating historical figure.